follow-up day because why not? Guangzhou South China University technology students Beitiao Chao and Li Chao withdrew their February ResearchGate coronavirus plausible source paper that said bat bites and bats pissing on people at the lab did it, because it was based on alt news reports and or not supported by direct proofs. But it's been silenced. Here's a downloadable copy off of Image Prod TG.com Media Set IT Images yada yada yada. It's the same one I did before about it, and that's it. And the primary reasons behind it have been listed before, but let's review. The area had the bats. It was not needed for the bats to be hauled in, saying that bats found hundreds of miles away couldn't have been there when they were found throughout the area, and specifically that species. In the video, I brought up the fact that you can bring up a map of the range for the bat that is involved, and the presumption was that they were imported bats and that they weren't native to the area when they are native to the area, and the coronavirus relative had been found in bats at other locations too, showing a wide range to it. This is a basic error on their part, misinterpreting data. Next, the person who said building a shotgun is 3 times as expensive as buying one, when absolutely that's not true in any way, has now responded when I said, okay, since you said you learned how to make guns that load cartridges from magazines and eject the case, I said, okay, do a vid. And he says, I don't do videos on my hobbies. Sorry, that's not something I learned to do properly, nor am I interested in becoming a YouTuber, even though the guy has videos up already. So his claim is not valid because he refuses to prove it, number one. Number two, this forces me to have to do the same damn videos I was going to do in the first place. And the assertion that it's 3 times as expensive to make a shotgun than to buy one is horseshit, because the break-action shotguns went up in price because of the fucking panic buying people doing, so they went up in price. There's fewer of them. $20 is not 3 times as much as $100 or $88. Another person commented that they watched their friend do black powder experiments and then do a dum-dum where he shot himself in the foot with a pistol version. That is very likely. That's one of those things where if you're going to make one of these things, the problem with, for instance, black powder is you don't want to load the gun before firing it. In a normal gun, including a magazine-fed gun, it's often a better idea not to chamber a round unless you plan on using it. Now, this is not useful and does not count if you're going to be carrying a gun for self-protection that you feel you're going to need. But even other gun owners have said that if you've never had an incident where you have to pull your gun and fire it, having it on a loaded chamber is dumb in any gun that could possibly go off or create a security or safety issue of somebody grabbing it. On the other hand, you know, if you have to slap a magazine and pull it back and fire it, you may actually lose the ability to shoot when it would count. So it is a personal decision. However, on black powder weapons, it's virtually impossible for anybody to find one where someone is going to leave it loaded and leave it sitting there. It is done, but it has to be a gun that was really designed to make it impossible for it to go off unless you intentionally fire it. Oddly enough, revolvers go into that range as well. A lot of people keep an empty cylinder for it. I do feel sorry for the person who ended up shooting himself in the foot and then having to go through a lot of repair work and long duration of pain. And I'm not going to mention the umpteen incidents of me experimenting when I was a dumb kid. But to re-quote the individual on the gun thing, I made one when I was 17. Not exactly useful. I quit making junk like that when I learned how to make my own guns, load cartridges from a magazine and eject the case. And Tim Hallis has not proven his point or offered any reason to believe him. This is actually a fairly complicated thing to do, mostly because you either have to come up with a new design, use an old design and rebuild it, which means you have to actually do a lot of work. Shotguns are a little bit easier in some cases, but it depends on the design. Or invent a new method that may be very restricted or very good. Might innovate something. But not even a description was given on how he did it. Meanwhile, again, his assertion is that this is a waste of time. And when I responded by showing him people making them cheaply and honestly safely, using my car analogy again, didn't work. So, yeah. But anyway, let's just bring it back to the starting point. A review of previous videos. The students from a college in China made a mistake using shit sources and not really citing anything that proved their point, and then going on a wild speculation tour, and alt media loves that. 2, someone came to a channel where I incrementally discussed, actually on multiple channels, how to do things with firearms, and poo-pooed the thing by comparing them to guns to cars, which doesn't make any damn sense, and refuses to prove his point any further. That's about it. Thanks for watching. Have a good day. Good luck with that. It's a slow day, and I'm going to go out and enjoy a pizza. Bye.